the FaceTime. Moving on.
It'd
Now
be
you.
really, oh,
What's up?
it'd be really cool if they did something like, what was it? I think it was the Sprint Katana or something like that, where the camera actually turned itself. That way you wouldn't have to have two different cameras.
Yeah, that broke really easy if you remember correctly.
I don't know.
I had a friend.
My mom's
I had a friend that had it, and it was broke. It swiveled, yeah, the top.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
that.
Swivel. I don't know.
As,
It's kind of rotated.
Yeah, well, okay. It rotated. Moving on to next, so the Retina display. And basically, the Retina displays is, in my opinion, a great way of saying, hey, there's more pixels in a smaller area. They really are. They try to put names on everything, and they really should just say what it is. But the whole point of the Retina display is to make curves sharper. The DPI on it is like 326, I think it is, the DPI. DPI is a measurement of PPI, actually. It's PPI, wasn't it? Pixels per inch. DPI would be... Well,
dots per inch.
Dots per inch, yeah.
Same thing, I guess.
Yeah, whatever. Well, yeah, but I think it's 326 PPI, which is by far the highest resolution they've ever put in any type of mobile application like this. I think everything about it is pretty extraordinarily, extraordinary. Yeah, I thought of that all by myself. So yeah, the screen's gonna look really good. It is 900 and what is it? It's 920 by Rob. Do you remember what the numbers were?
640.
920 by 640.
No, it's 9. Is it 920?
I thought it was 920.
Yeah, I know the width on it was, or the height on it was 640.
Regardless, that's HD, right? I mean,
yeah, it is. They have it. Well, I know that the the recording, as far as recording video,
right? I
know it records at 720p,
yes.
30 frames per second.
And 720p would be 720 by 480. Does that sound right?
Yep.
Yeah. So if that's 720, 1080p is 1080 by 780. Then
it's a whole bunch of numbers is what it is.
Yeah. Then that would mean it would be a little bit better than 720p, which is considered HD still, and it's also 30 hertz. Well, and I don't know if you guys know this, but in the current iPhone, the 3GS will actually drop the refresh rate on lower light videos. I found that out the other day. It'll drop to 15 frames per second instead of 30 frames per second. And the camera now records actually 30 frames per second. But yeah, it's a 30 frame per second screen, 9 something by 3. You said 380.
640.
640. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is a high resolution, high definition. So it is the first HD. I thought they could have been more creative with the name on the iPhone too. A lot of people were thinking they were going to do the iPhone HD.
Yeah, iPhone 4.
iPhone 4.
It just flows. You know what? Like I said, it goes back to like iPad, FaceTalk, iPhone 4. I mean, they're just really running out of names for stuff, and they're pulling stuff out of their. I don't know, man.
Why don't they just call it the same thing as they have been?
Just the
Yeah, just call it iPhone.
Yeah.
Well, you think about it, with the iPhone's ever-growing popularity being the most popular phone in the world.
I don't know. A lot of people are starting to branch out to
No.
the droids. Well, at Rose, I see more droids than.
I think it's because the iPhones are less affordable, but I think
probably.
the iPhone by far. In New York, when I was in New York, oh my gosh, it's just, it's a good every block. You see a couple iPhones. I think iPhones.
Yeah, there's definitely more people using iPhones now. I mean, the iPhone is probably the best mobile mobile phone on the market. But in a short amount of time, Android and some of the devices HTC has come out with are really starting to look pretty appealing, and you really have to thank Apple for all that to begin with. I think if it wasn't for Apple throwing its hat into the mobile market and putting a phone out there like this and like raising the bar, we'd probably be another 3 to 5 years off before we'd start seeing stuff like this from other carriers. I mean, the Razor was the top phone before the iPhone came out.
Yep. Yanni had a Razor, actually.
Yeah, I had a Razor. They were awesome because they were thin, you know, you keep them in your pocket and stuff, but...
They looked thin.
Until the iPhone came along, that was the de facto. I mean, that was the most popular phone. And now you're starting to see, over this last year, you start to see these great handsets come out from HTC, you know, what's the one, the Palm Pre.
I love it.
You know,
Cindy has a Palm Pre, actually.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. It's awesome.
What do you think? Is WebOS all it's cracked up to be?
I have no problems with it. The only thing I'm mad at is that
they
promised me Flash for the first half of 2010. They have 1 month to deliver this Flash.
You know, I don't get the big deal on Flash on any phone. I mean, it's cool, I guess, if it's there, as long as it's not laggy. I see that a lot of the new Androids, like I'm really looking at the HTC Evio right now as my replacement to the iPhone.
It looks so pretty.
And it does do Flash, and it does it rather well from the demos that I've seen. But from being a person that used Pocket PC back in 2005, and back then you could run Flash, and it was Windows Mobile. There was like little hacks that you could do to run Flash. It was so horrible. So I never thought that Flash on a mobile device would really perform all that great. But even still, like nowadays, it's not really something where I come across and I'm like, oh, dude, I really wish that I had Flash on my phone so I could look at this website. The biggest problems that I run into with Flash is when I want to like go on Taco Bell's website and look at their menu. You know, like every fast food joint uses Flash.
Yep.
I don't know. So, like today, I wanted to watch the feed live on my phone, but sadly, I don't have Flash.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. There's no Justin TV app for the
Palm. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
See, I guess that's the coolest thing with the iPhone is that there's the application development is by far much better than something like on Android. Even Android, as quickly as it's growing, it's really the applications that make any phone what it is.
Yep.
And in my little research that I'm doing right now, trying to figure out if I can make a switch from an iPhone to an Android, I'm sitting there kind of going down the list, well, do they have this application or something comparable that I can use? And it's the applications that I see that are the hardest things to move away from. And, you know, I guess the only thing I can place my bets on is that Android is going to catch up to the iPhone OS or iOS, whatever they're calling it now, a lot quicker than anything else.
Yeah, since more people are buying the Android, there's definitely more developers working on that.
Right.
You hear that in the background?
Yeah.
Developers. And really, I mean, but seriously, that's what it's all about. Like, that's as much as people complain about like Apple's relationship with developers and their approval process. Did you see the little joke Steve Jobs made today about iMovie?
Yeah, he said if it was approved. That was funny. That was
good. If
it's
approved, yeah. I mean, that was good. At least they can like poke fun at themselves. But in all reality, man, the iPhone application, the iPhone App Store and the application development, the process, the submission, the whole deal is so clean for developers in comparison to some of the other platforms. Sure, it's more restricted, but it's because it's such a clean setup. And now that they're doing iAds, that's awesome, man. Like, it almost makes me want to break out Xcode and just slap together some nice little app and say, okay, and throw an iAd with it. And if I can collect a good little $20 a month off of a couple hours of my time putting together an app together, that'd be cool, man.
Yeah, I think it's going to turn money crazy, though.
Yeah, I mean, Apple's going to go out, they're going to get all the advertisement, or all the advertisers for you, and you just say, I want ads placed here, here, and here, and Apple's going to do the whole thing, and you get a 60% cut. That's a pretty smoking deal.
Yeah, I agree. For developers, that is huge. It makes the developers happy. To make users happy, you got to make those developers happy. So, but yeah, absolutely. I think... Moving on here, and if you're just joining us, sorry, Sydney, go ahead.
Another thing is, Rose Holman is actually this year they're starting to add a class to develop iPhone apps, which I think I do that every time I say that word.
Probably.
I won't say it then, but yeah, to make the application
of which Apple can use.
Yeah. So it kind of makes me sad because I'd like to learn how to make it on different platforms as well instead of just for the iPhone.
You know, right. That's one thing, and I've played around with the Android SDK, and and I have the iPhone SDK, and I gotta say, the iPhone SDK, even for someone like me that knows absolutely nothing about coding, it's so, I mean, it's unbelievable, like how I can just jump in and kind of thumb through and figure some things out, and I can put together